to Keeping It Up with the Women, MGMT 191. Good morning. Today we are here to digest into what women face being a female than a male. Being a woman can be very fun and overwhelming to just being a different gender. Women today have been very concerned about how to become successful and how to overcome obstacles that we face. Not just here in America, but also around the world. I'm Amanda, and you're watching Keeping It Up with the Women. To better understand these topics, we'll talk with Oprah Winfrey, who is a very successful and empowering woman. She is an African-American woman, media proprietor, talk show host, actress, producer, and philanthropist. This is a fact that Oprah Winfrey knows all too well. Today she will tell us all how she did it and advice she has for us to be successful. And I just want to thank you, Oprah, for coming out here with your own time and joining us.
Thank you for having me today.
So, Oprah, everyone listening on this radio would like to know, how did you know, or how did you want to get into TV and media specifically, how you became where you are today from your early career and how you discovered your calling?
Oh, very nice question. Yes, but I must share my story to empower not just women to move forward in life, but to become who they want to be. So no, to answer your question, I didn't know that I wanted to be in the radio. I thought I was going to be a teacher. I was in my sophomore class, already working in radio when I was 16. I didn't come from a very wealthy family. A single mother who lived in a very low poverty in Mississippi that raised me. I'm a woman of color, and you all may know, growing up at this time, it was difficult. But I must say, I'm well taught. It happened to be that before I had my own production, it all started with me landing in a radio station. Then co-anchoring the local evening news at age 19. Then continuing to do what I love doing, getting myself into the daytime talk show arena, then into my own production company, then ending my own talk show in May of 2011. But I still have my production as of Hypo Production. Oprah spells backward if you didn't know that. Co-founder of the woman cable television network Oxygen, and partner up with Discovery Communication to change Discovery Health Channel into a new channel called OWN, which is Oprah Winfrey Network.
While in your career, I'm sure you were a minority, perhaps as the only woman, the only black person, the only person from the poor family. Did these factors affect you on your professional pathways? How did you break these barriers and navigate a situation in which you have to do it alone? And how did that impact how you lead, and how did it help you help others that may feel the same way, especially those that feels like they are navigating alone?
Very good question, Amanda. Always the only woman walk in the room, and still there is a room full of white men at that time. And usually older thrills me, and I love it. I love it. Usually the only black person in the room, and I don't mind. Also, never really concerned about me, because I don't look at people through color. I don't get to where I am, who I am, by looking at the color of the people's skin. I literally took Martin Luther King at his word and understand the content of a person's character, and refuse to let anybody tell me to do that to me.
Have you experienced inequality being a single woman?
Yes, and I would have to say, as long as I remember, when I was still working in Baltimore, my co-host on the People Are Talking show, my co-host was making more money than I am. So I was questioning myself, why so? So I went to my boss, and this was 1980, and it is 1980 at that time. So I was intimidated at first, because you know how intimidating it is to go to the boss at the first place, right, Amanda? But I said, I'm going to go and stand up for myself. And I said to the boss, and his name was Richard, why Is Richard making more money than I am? And I don't think it's fair, to my boss. We do the same thing, but he's getting paid more and I don't think that's fair. And the general manager said, but he has children, do you? And I say, no. And the manager again says, he has a house mortgage to pay, do you own a home? And I say, no. He has many things to pay, do you? I think to myself, but does that matter? So tell me, why do you need, and then the manager goes on saying more things about what he has to do and why he's getting paid more. And so he goes, so tell me, why do you need the same amount of money as Richard do? And I didn't say anything. I think to myself and I just stood there and I say to him, thank you for your time. And I left. I didn't complain about it. I didn't file a lawsuit or say anything about it afterward. But from that moment, I knew it was time for me to find a new place, a new start. I started to process for myself, for preparing myself for something better. I knew I had something better. I had a vision for what the future was, even though I couldn't place myself where I want to be, but I knew what I want to do, or I just had an idea of what the future holds for me. And that is myself. I can only direct myself.
So there's hype going on now about Sheryl Sandberg, the COO from Facebook, and her book called Lean In. It gotten pretty incredible reviews, and I was wondering if you were to write a book on women careers, what would your title be and why?
Really good. Lean In. Mine would be, actually it wouldn't be Lean In. It would be Step Up into yourself, because this is the truth. There is no real doing in this world without being first. For me, your present, your connection to yourself, and this is greater than yourself, is far more important than what you do. Also, the things that you will have a passion in what you want to do, especially when you have the leader who are confident, who are self-actualizations, and understand what your contribution to the to whatever you wish to do to change the world can be. You can only do it if you know yourself. You can only do that unless you take the time to actually know who you are and where you are from here. And that would be Step Up. Now, I happen to know for sure that every human being goes beyond the definition of what your job is, especially when you go into your workforce, into the career you wish to be. That there is an innate, there's like an innate supreme moment of your destiny for everybody once they reach their goal. They're secure, not that they don't have anything for them, but they're secure and know that they want more.
Can you give us an example on how did that impact you on how you lead and how you might help others who maybe feel the same way? Especially women going through what you have, and we all know it is important to be self-aware, to understand often, to share our emotions with others. We all know, Oprah, yourself have been the master at all. And with harnessing vulnerability and yourself and your guests over the years.
To give you an example, as far as I can remember, or up till today, I will have to say, again, when I was in Baltimore, it was that time and at that talk show, I could feel this isn't it. And then in Chicago, after 25 years of success on the show, I started to feel this isn't it. There is something more that is calling me to what is the supreme moment. Again, like I said, the innate supreme moment of destiny for everyone. Well, there comes my destiny as supreme. And I will have to say, you cannot fulfill it unless you have a level of self-awareness. To be connected to what is the inner voice, or the instance I call in your emotion, and I would call it the emotional GPS system. Because GPS direct you, and your emotion sometimes just direct you where you want to be. That allows you to make the best decision for yourself in every decision that has profited. Especially for me, as it comes from listening to my inner voice first, and every decision Every time I got into a situation where I was in trouble, it was because I didn't listen to myself. I overrode that voice, that instinct with my own. And with my own head, my own thinking, I didn't listen to myself. My inner life is really intact. I live from the inside out. And so everything that I have because I let it be fueled by who I am and what I realize my contributions to the planet could be. And that could be my legacy, but what my real contribution is what I want to do and whatever I want to do. It looks like it all looks like you all know I have a work network, but my real contribution and the reason why I'm here is to help connect people to themselves and a higher level and a higher idea of consciousness. I'm here to help raise consciousness. That I will leave up to you. Lastly, you are one choice away from a new beginning, one that leads you toward becoming the fullest human being you can be, and I will lead you guys up to it, to listen to your inner self.
Oh wow, Oprah, you're just amazing.
Oh, Amanda, you're so amazing yourself.
How did you strike a balance between emotion and logic? Like, how did you make sure to continue with what you do, even when you did a mistake or when you fail?
Very well. I will have to say, you need both. You need emotion and you need logic. So, in the beginning, I was purely emotional into starting what I want to do. I made a lot of mistakes, but I don't continue that mistake. How do you change a person's life, or how do you make sure to continue? I have to give you an example. Prior to starting my school in South Africa, I had this big, huge idea that I was going to do. And I had this big emotion for it. And my idea or my emotion was that I was going to take all 100 family out to the project of the Caribbean Green, and I was going to give them a new life. And I was going to buy them a home and buy them stuff, but sadly that didn't work. It failed miserably, but it didn't stop me. I still had a dream. I still had things I wanted to do. Then I had a big sister program that I started that failed miserably too. So I realized that for me, first of all, I was like, no, I need to do something that I need to pick up myself and come back and do it. So I realized, you don't change, as you all recognize through the Seed of a program. You first have to change the way a person think and see themselves. So you got to create a sense of aspirations, a sense of hopefulness, so people can see and can begin to even have that vision for a better life. And if you can connect to that, then you lose. You lose and they lose. And it's just money after money, money after money, and that's just so much money. So for me, it is using my philanthropy to do what I have found to be enormously helpful. I don't believe in failure, but I do believe in mistakes. I do believe in not being able to reach there, but I do believe that there is a goal and there is success in it. It is not failure if you enjoy the process. So I ask myself, am I going to lead by who I really am, or am I going to stay here and do nothing? And I learn, as well as happening to everyone and anybody who's successful in your family, people start telling you, like, you're the First National Bank, and they're going to ask you for money, or they're going to make... It's just a lot of things going on once you start making that banks. And you got to decide. You got to draw the boundaries for yourself and decide how you're going to use your money, your talent, your time, in such a way that it's going to serve you first. Whatever will make you happy, whatever will make you satisfied. Because if you don't allow you to be filled up with you get depleted, and you can't keep doing it. You no longer do what you want to do or wish to do. So my philosophy is that not only you are responsible for your life, but doing the best at the moment put you in the best place for the next moment.
Wow, Oprah, that's really inspiring. So we know that we have your own network and you are very involved in philanthropy and school. And so just as you mentioned, just before we run out of time on this talk, is there anything left for you to try, and will you be scared to try something new?
That's a very good question. I had never had to think about that. But to answer your question, no, I'm not scared to try anything new. I will have to say I love what I do and I love what I did. I had to hit my stride, but I haven't done what I ultimately came to do. And I believe there is still a supreme moment of destiny, and again, supreme destiny, that awaits me to do. I think like a queen, a queen. And a queen is not afraid of fail. And failure is another stepping stone for someone's greatness. So to me, no, I'm not afraid. And about anything left for me to do, I don't know. That supreme moment, it might be still there waiting for me to go. But to try something new, no, to answer your question.
Oh, okay. So our time is really coming to an end. And I would like to give a big shout out to you, Oprah, for giving such a great talk and for sharing your experiences.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. This is a great time, and thank you for having me here today to give.
Again, thank you so much, Oprah. Everyone, stay tuned to MGMT 191, Keeping Up with the Women, for next week. We have Sheryl Sandberg.